Welcome back to Tanya in 5. The last few days, we have been studying Chapter 5 of Book 2 in Tanya. In Chapter 4, the Alter Rebbe explained that the reason that we do not experience, see, or feel the truth that God is continuously investing His energy within us to keep us within existence is because the divine has the capacity to conceal itself. And in the same way, it is incomprehensible to us how God creates something out of nothing. It is equally incomprehensible to us how God conceals that creative force from us, the created beings. At the end of chapter 4, the Alter Rebbe told us that we should view this creative force and the concealing force as a light and a vessel, or an idea conveyed through words. The words being the vessel that contain the light, the energy, the idea. And in the same way, words constrict an idea in that it constricts it and conceals it to be expressed in specific words and a specific combination of letters and sentences. But yet it is specifically through this concealment that the idea is conveyed to the listener. So likewise, the creative force of God is a singular burst of energy, and it is conveyed to creation through the medium of words, giving each particular part of creation its particular form, its particular way of living, as it relates to the energy that keeps it going through these specific words, matching each particular creation. With this, says the Alter Rebbe in chapter 5, based on the way the Rebbe explains chapter 5, the following phenomenon or issues. Number 1, this explains the value of Torah and mitzvahs. You see, if we were to assume that the concealing energy is kind of lying to us, the truth is God is everywhere, and this concealing capacity, the fact that God hides Himself, is lying to us about the truth that God is everywhere. If that were the case, then there would really be no objective, true reason for Torah and mitzvahs, because from Torah and mitzvahs' perspective, the truth is open. God's everywhere. But now that we understand that this concealing force is not just lying to us about the truth that God is everywhere, but it actually conveys to us the divine energy. The divine energy is invested in us through specific words, through specific containers, through specific vessels. Now the objective then of Torah and mitzvahs is to allow us to decode the message, to be able to see the light behind the vessel, to see the divine energy invested in everything that we experience. Because our experience is true. It is true so far as the vessels are concerned, so far as the creative force as it is tailored by the vessels to create us. And thus the Torah and mitzvahs are the way in which we can decode the message, to see the godly in everything, to see the light behind the vessel. In fact, right from the beginning of creation, God invested within creation the capacity for the righteous ones, the tzaddikim, through the power of Torah, to do such miracles that allow us to peek beyond the veil. You see, as far as the letters are concerned, the words are concerned, each particular creation must function in accord with the words conveyed to that particular part of creation. And thus, there's no room for miracles. Miracles come because the light behind the vessel, that pure energy of the divine, can do anything. And thus, within creation, God has embedded the Torah and the tzaddikim who harness that power of the Torah to be able to help us to peel beyond the layer and see the miraculous, see the beyond, see the light behind the vessel, see the godly beyond the natural order as it presents itself as a result of the letters that create them. And even the righteous, who have a very high cognitive knowledge of the divine, they still retain their self-identity. And therefore, even for them, there is the usefulness of Torah to be able to decode the divine message and share it with others. The takeaway from all of this is, it is true. The world in its appearance is truthfully an existence that seems completely independent from God. But we have been granted the key to decode the whole message. How lucky we are and how gifted we are that we've been granted Torah mitzvahs, and we've been granted the capacity to be able to see beyond the veil, to be able to see the light behind the vessels, to see the divine energy invested in everything. Looking forward to seeing you when we conclude chapter 6.